All right, now, so let's go ahead and try to start creating the logic of our autoloader. Um, all right, so we're not gonna go for the composer autoloading with composer. We're gonna create our simple autoloader right here. All right, we're just gonna require our classes through using a common namespace. Um, all right, so we have right here our autoload file. It's in the root folder of our own project. So we should go PHP like that. All right, and now let's go ahead for the SPL autoload register like that. And I already explained this in the course, so go back to it if you do not remember. Inside this function that will allow us to require classes, we're gonna go ahead and pass in the function, the anonymous function like that, and this function should take in the class as a parameter. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do this in a cleaner way um, or a neater way. All right, so let's go ahead first and define our um, our namespace or common namespace. All right, so we're gonna go like this, and we're gonna go prefix, and we're going to make this so it will be equal to app \\. So every class that we will have should start with this app right here. This is what I mean by this. All right, and right after defining our own namespace, we're gonna go ahead and simply define the directory of our files or of our own classes. So we're gonna go base directory or simply base dir like this, and we're going to go __dir like that, and this will allow us to simply get the full path of our own folder right here, which is a mycrud folder. All right, we're gonna simply go and we're going to concatenate this with the source folder. All right, so this right here will allow us to get something like c/exam/htdoc/mycrud, something like this, and we should add the source folder right here because this is where our classes will be. So we should simply end this with a semicolon. Now, right after this, we should go ahead and get the length of the prefix, and you're going to know why later. All right, so I'm just going to go length or simply len like this, and I'm going to go str len. All right, this will allow us to get the length of what we are going to pass in as a string, for example. So we're going to get the length of this, which will be 5 right here. All right, so I'm going to end this with a semicolon. Now, right after this, we're gonna go ahead and simply use the strnmcb function, which will allow us to compare our own prefix with the class that's coming in. Let's copy it and let's take a look at it a bit. So I'm just gonna go PHP like that. So I'm gonna go right here for W3 schools, for example, so we can see what's going on right here. So if you look at the description of it, it compares two strings and it's case sensitive. So it's gonna compare those two strings together based on the length right here, which is like the six lengths, right? The first 6 lengths from here, and sorry, the first 6 characters from here, and the first 6 characters from here. So if we go down definition and usage, the strncmb function compares two strings. That's it's binary save and case sensitive. This function is similar to blah blah blah. So if we look at the technical details right here, this function returns, it's going to return 0 if two strings are equal, and if it's going to return 1 if string 1 is less than string 2. Yeah, it's going to return this greater than 0 or lesser than 0 based on what's gonna come out from it, or based on the strings. All right, so if we look right here, it's returning 0 because the first 6 characters from here are equal to the first characters from here. But if we changed the O right here to a capital O and run this, all right, so it's giving us like lesser than 0 because now they are different. So this is what we're gonna do by using the strnc ncmb function, which is comparing strings. So we have to make sure that simply the string, the prefix right here is simply the same thing as the class and in the length. All right, so we need to go down at the bottom of this, and we're gonna go F, and let's simply copy the function name so I do not mess this up. And we're gonna go for the prefix, and what we want to compare to it is the class. All right, and we're going to compare this based on the length. All right, so we're gonna say if this right here is not equal to 0, which means that everything is fine, and the class is the same as the prefix, then everything is fine. All right, so if that does not equal 0, then simply return nothing like this. So we should just continue with our script like that. So again, let's see, let's say we have a prefix. All right, for example, any class inside any one of those folders will start with the app, right? And we will have also the class which will start with the same thing right here, because we're going to write namespaces inside of those classes, and they should match, and starting with the same app right here, which is simply the length that we set right over here. All right, so let's say we have a class that starts like this: app models post, for example. All right, so this is simply will be the class. So we have the prefix right here, which we already set to be app. All right, so it will be just app like this, or simply app like that. All right, so okay, let's see that this app is this app right here. So we're seeing here that if those if both of those match in the length that we already set it to be, which is 5, then go ahead and just execute the rest of the script. That's what we're doing right here, nothing less and nothing more. So we have right here our 4 steps. So the step right after this is simply getting the file. All right, so we gotta go ahead and simply get the file name. So we're gonna go file, so we can actually require it, and we're gonna go for the base dir, and we're simply gonna go for the str replace function. Since now we got the full we have the full prefix right over here, we can simply work this out. So let's just tell him to simply first remove this double backslash right here with simply this slash. All right, and simply we will have the class right here. All right, and we want to concatenate this. with the PHP like that. Alright, so let's get down at the bottom and let's check if this file exists. So we will go file exist like that, and let's go for the file, and simply if this file exists, let's go ahead and simply require it like this. Alright, so we're gonna go require file like that. Alright, so requiring file. Right, so we have a problem. Yeah, we need to end this like that. Alright, so it's looking great. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right here. Alright, that's fine. Now let's go ahead and try to work this out. Let's see, for example, the first actually classes that we're going to be working with is the class in the core, and this class, it will be database.php like that. I'm gonna go right here, just go PHP, and of course we will have our namespace inside. Again, the namespace should start with app, and I'm going to match the namespace to the folder so we can keep everything as organized as possible. So I'm going to keep this core, and that's basically the name of the namespace. So we're gonna name our class as the same as our file, and I'm just gonna go ahead and simply how about doing a property real quick. So I'm gonna go dp right here, public db equals db like that. All right, so save the whole thing. Let's now go ahead. For example, we will have the public right here. Let's create an index file. So index.php, and inside the index, I want to simply go ahead and require I want to go back a step so I can reach to the root folder of the project, and I'm going to go autoload.php like that. And that's actually everything. I want to go ahead right now to the autoload and instantiate our class that we just get. So we will see actually if this whole thing is working or not. All right, so let me copy this, and inside the autoload to instantiate this, we're gonna go use, for example, or we can just go object right away, obj new, and now since we already set a database, since we already set a namespace for this class, now we can simply, if we need to access it, we will go ahead and write the full namespace, of course, including the class name. All right, so let's go right after this and go obj db like that. Let's echo that out, or just var dump this like that. So let's save the whole thing, and let's now go ahead and try and access this. So I'm gonna go localhost host slash my crud, and I'm going to go for the public. All right, so inside the public, I already have my index. So if I just get this right away, so it's telling me uncode error class app, not app slash database, app slash core slash database not found in blah 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 in 949. All right, so it's not finding this database. All right, so just give me a second. All right, so I forgot a step right here. So right here, this should not be the class. We do not want to get the full thing now. All right, we do not need to get the full thing. We need to get the relative class. So go above this and just type something like um, getting relative class. All right, so we're gonna go relative class, which will equal the substring, and we're gonna go class, and from we're gonna cut from the whole class part based on the length that we got over here. So we're getting the class right now, but I want to remove the part of the app, of this app right here. All right, so we are gonna get the class something like this. Again, we're gonna get it like this: app slash models, for example, slash database. All right, so I want to remove the part of the app right here. And this is what I'm doing at this part of the relative class. We're just gonna uh, remove the part of this class by using this length right here. This is what the substring is doing. All right, so I want to go right here and simply copy this and paste. I want to add a semicolon to this. All right, so I guess that now everything is working perfectly. So if I save this, and again, right here in the index, I just have my auto load required like that. So I can actually go to the index right away instead of testing and the auto load. And inside the auto load, I'm just creating an object from the database class, and I'm passing in, or I'm just referencing the whole namespace. So this can work. So this will work. All right, so if we go now and refresh this, we are in the index right now, and see that it's telling me that I have an error, and that error actually because I should have a slash right here. Otherwise, this will not work. So if we refresh this now, as you can see, we're actually getting the string, which is right inside the database right here. This string, we can actually change this to something like that, and this will work right here. So there you go. All right, so this was the whole thing about this auto load. So again, all what we're doing right here, we're just grabbing, we're setting a prefix for every class that we will have, and we're just grabbing the base dir, and we're grabbing the length of this prefix. So this will help us later, and we're simply now checking if we have um, if the prefix and the class match in the same length, or match in the assembly, and if both of them have this prefix. All right, this is what this part right here does. All right, so if it does right over here, then that we should continue with our script. So right after this, we're getting the relative class, and I want to just grab the class with simply without the app part. The full thing actually was the namespace. All right, and then we're doing our str replace like this, and we're actually requiring the file. All right, so the str replace, as I actually explained, it will remove every part in our namespace. It will remove the backslash with simply a slash like this. So we can actually go ahead and require our files the right way. All right, and then we are going to add the .php, and then we will require the file. So I don't want to make this too long. It's already too long. So yeah, this will be it, and I will see you on the next one.